do it. Hey, welcome back to another hot topic. This is, of course, LeVar's, my partner, Greg. And of course, what we're gonna go start the show off here with this video. So, Greg, go ahead and kick this video off, and then we'll continue the show after that.
If I told you I know how it all ends, right? Once you know how it all ends, that the only use of time is, how do I buy more Bitcoin? But take all your money, buy Bitcoin, then take all your time, figure out how to borrow more money to buy more Bitcoin, then take all your time and figure out what you can sell to buy Bitcoin. And if you absolutely love the thing that you don't want to sell it, go mortgage your house and buy Bitcoin with it. And if you've got a business that you love because your family works for the business, it's in your family for 37 years, and you can't bear to sell it, mortgage it, finance it, and convert the proceeds into the hardest money on earth, which is Bitcoin. So what I would say is, use all your time to acquire Bitcoin, finance entities and weaker currencies to buy Bitcoin, or educate yourself on why this makes sense if you're not sure, and then educate everybody around you. You know, if you're working for a company that's got $100 million in the treasury, you ought to convince the CEO and the board of directors to convert the treasury to Bitcoin. That's the most creative thing you can do. That'd be worth billions to them. It's like if you were to say to me, Mike, it's the year 2000, you're in Argentina. What's the best use of your time? The best use of my time is figure out how to get all of my money converted into dollars and get it out of Argentina, because I'm going to lose 99.5% of the money if I don't. Nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters. That's the hot topic for today. Nothing else matters. All right, Greg, I'll let you go ahead. Go ahead and kick us off with that. Nothing else matters.
Man. That message is so powerful. And obviously, Saylor is speaking, from a perspective of, doing the research, seeing the signs, seeing the trend lines, seeing the similarities of, the hyperinflation that went on in Argentina. We all know about, the hyperinflation of Zimbabwe. And, there's been, many cases, but the signs are pretty much all the same. Yeah. And it's like being in quicksand. Your natural instincts are to start, fighting and start reaching and pulling. Yes. And the irony is, the more you do, the faster you accelerate the sinking process. Mm-hmm. So we're seeing it. Mm-hmm. And Saylor is advocating from as close to an absolute position of thought certainty that the U.S. is going to continue on this excessive inflationary, pattern that they're in. Now, does that mean we're going to go from, here we are, March 20th, March 21st, a loaf of bread costs $2.35. Are we going to, wake up on April the 3rd and all of a sudden a loaf of bread costs, $250? That probably is not what, what's going to happen. And I don't think that that's what he's, inferring. But what he is inferring is that this pattern is going to continue. People like him who are part of, the corporate, management structure, for publicly traded companies, private companies, hedge funds, insurance companies, the list goes on and on with that broad category of institutional capital. They are saying, hey, the pattern of inflationary expansion of the US dollar is no longer satisfactory to them. And they are actively looking for alternatives. And it appears to be apparent that they're saying, hey, gold is no longer sufficient. And they are moving money into Bitcoin. That is the elephant in the room. And you can act like you don't see it, which is cool, that's your choice. But if you do see it and you truly do understand it, what he's saying is, brother, look, from a financial perspective, nothing else matters but Bitcoin. And you should be using all of your energy to be creative in figuring out how you can procure as much Bitcoin as possible for you and your family. Period. End the story. You know?
Yeah. Period. All right, that's the end of the show. We're going. hey, but all jokes aside, I mean, this is serious. And of course, you may not go to the extremes that Michael Saylor, he said that you should do, but at the same time, you should really be looking and seeking to learn more about why he would even advocate for this to occur. Why do he would say, hey, you need to set everything aside and focus on Bitcoin? Why would he say that? It must be because he has the knowledge and understanding of something that's going to occur about Bitcoin. So to our subscribers, to our listeners, I want to encourage you to get involved, learn. Our focus as Bfree Network, as Live to Be Free, is to provide documentation material to where you can learn and understand about the Bitcoin, about the blockchain system, about why it's important to get a grasp of this 21st century financial literacy and what's taking place, how currency is changing, how the dollar is losing its value, as Greg said. So it's important that you understand this, and you have to learn. You can't wait for somebody to spoon feed you information. It's only so much that people can tell you. You need to learn for yourself. So that's to hear him say that. When I saw that video, I said, okay, yes, because honestly, my opinion and my actions have been geared towards that as well. Has been towards forget about trying to hold CDs in banks where they only paying you 0.01% or 0.1% annually, whatever it may be. Look at something that's going to be more stable, that's going to increase in value. But the way things are happening, Bitcoin, if it does become the main currency across the world, because this is a mean of currency that can be transacted across the world without the fluctuation of the different areas and currencies and all those things. So this thing could be, it could be, which I believe is going to be, but just because of my understanding of it, it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, and I think Saylor, he is definitely, a evangelist for Bitcoin.
Yes.
He doesn't necessarily see Bitcoin as currency or money in the typical sense that
you see it more like gold.
People, see currency or money in.
Mm-hmm.
He sees it as the absolute epitome of store of value.
Mm-hmm.
So he looks at it, in some of his material, he talks about, look, if you own a block of real estate, in Manhattan,
Mm-hmm.
and you see that the appreciation trend that is on, you're not going to sell that real estate.
Correct.
You're going to allow it to appreciate. You're going to borrow against it, right, to satisfy whatever your financial needs or lifestyle needs may be. And then as it appreciates more, you borrow against it again. You pay off that previous loan, and you continue that process. And he says that is what the wealthy do with assets, with true assets that are not losing their value. You don't sell. How does he say? You don't sell a higher performing asset to go buy a lower performing asset.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So as you learn, and he mentioned this, if you don't know, then educate yourself so that you can understand, and that will help you in making decisions.
That's right.
Because information is always going to be an incredible part of life. Now, in capitalistic societies, you can have all the damn information in the world. But if you don't have money to play in the capital game, you're still going to be at a tremendous disadvantage. So at some point, in order to play in capitalism, you got to have some damn capital.
Yeah.
And don't get any plainer than that. Now, it may or may not be your capital, but some capital has to get in the game in order to benefit, in order to take advantage of a capitalistic society. And that's the ugly truth. People
it's like being on the basketball court with no basketball.
Yeah, exactly. You shy away from it, but at the end of the day, this is a capitalistic world that we live in. And we have to find ways to have capital to play in the damn game, period. And, as you talked about, we have different, different things that we advocate. And, we definitely are adamant about doing things in a manner that does not put people in financial harm.
That's right.
There's a lot of programs, and I'll tell you, I used to be a real estate investor, and I've been on both sides of financial harm. I've been on the side where, unbeknown to me, I got injured, and I've been on the side where, I knew that there was an opportunity for that buyer to succeed, but I also knew that there was a reasonable probability that that buyer wasn't going to succeed. And those are the type of arenas and activities that, for me personally, I don't want to participate in anymore. I want to participate in activities where people can experience the upside and the probability. Now, the possibility always exists,
That's
right?
right. Yeah.
But the probability of injury, of financial injury, is all but eliminated. That's the type of solutions and things that we're advocating. And, I think, Hop, it was good that you pointed that out. And it's all about information. If you have the right information,
That's right.
it helps you make better decisions. So we're going to keep trying to bring you information, trying to give it to you raw, and hey, we take you to the water. It's up to you if you drink.
That's right. That's right.
So,
Excellent.
What else you want to throw in there, brother?
Yeah, I think just understanding that by any means necessary. Malcolm X said it.
Look, can you imagine if Saylor gave that presentation, right, and he had a portrait of Malcolm X standing in the background, man. Can you imagine that? How powerful? Man, I'm gonna try to see if we can Photoshop and do that.
Yeah, because that's where we are. I mean, we're at a point to where you really need to take this serious, because Bitcoin is not just something that's a fly by night. Of course, the .com industry, people looked at the .com industry. They said it was just going to be a fly by night. It wasn't anything serious. But look what we have now because of the .com industry. We got all these gadgets and all that stuff, that we use now, phones and stuff, all this stuff that we have now because of the .com industry. And Bitcoin will be the same way, but it'll be more of a financial. It can be more of a financial piece for a lot of individuals that don't have that asset, that retirement funds and things that you couldn't do or you haven't done. So, but there's ways you can do it through group economics. So we're excited about what we're doing and what we have and what we're advocating. So that's it. But we appreciate you for watching it. And of course, I'm going to say subscribe. Also like and follow. We'd love to continue to provide this information to you. Greg, go ahead and close us out.
All right. So let me plug what we're going to do, next month, in the month of April. We're going to spend as much of our broadcasting time as we can humanly do to talk about one broad topic, but inside of it, there's subsets, topics that are very important. And the broad topic is life distractions, because we believe that it is the distractions of life. Some of them are by design and some of them aren't, right?
That's right.
But it's life distractions that prevent most people from being able to realize their potential, from being able to take advantage of opportunities that may be readily available, literally sitting right there, that only takes, an hour to grasp and take advantage of. But because we are fighting and, just being bombarded with life distractions so intensely, we can't even carve out an hour to do something that literally is the gateway to our freedom.
That's right.
So that's going to be the core of what we're going to talk about all month long. And inside of that, we're going to tie in, because again, we live in a damn capitalistic world. So we're going to tie in what is money and what is Bitcoin. And when we get through April, if you pay attention, right, and if you ride with us, I promise you, you are going to have the clarity to understand a couple of basic adjustments that you can make that will change your life moving forward and your family life and everybody else that you can get to take the time to pause and grasp this information. And it's not going to be overly complicated. We might say some, some things that's got, 4, 5, 6 syllables, but for the most part, it's going to be basic information.
Yes.
And we're going to give it to
Yes.
you in a way where truly
Yes.
you can grasp it and apply it, all right? So with that, y'all know my thing, and all you're getting, get information and get you some Bitcoin. Peace.
Peace.